Dragon Age, the Veilguard is even woker than what we might have expected. And we knew this game was going to be ultra woke. BioWare has allowed influencers and YouTubers to preview the character creator for the game. And one of them has revealed that there is an option to toggle on and off top surgery scars. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and you can see the screenshot right there of the character creator for Dragon Age the Veilguard. You can see there is a toggle option off and on in their character creator for top surgery scars. It's absolutely sick. This is evil. They're trying to normalize this degeneracy. That's exactly what they're trying to do. And it's all over this game. It's not just the top surgery scars, and it comes from the top down. Before we really get into this article, I want to point this out here. This is from Dread Roberts. This is a BioWare post from June 1st, 2022. It reads this: BioWare supports trans rights, women's rights, and bodily autonomy. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are a cornerstone for our studio and games. We don't consider these human rights up for debate. Gary McKay, BioWare General Manager. Comes from the top. They believe in evil. They believe in protecting evil. This is what this company supports. They believe that men can become women. They believe that women can become men. They believe in murder of innocent children. And they are putting it in their games. They are putting this in their games. They are trying to indoctrinate people into believing what they believe. They are trying to get people to embrace evil. These are very sick individuals. Very sick. But let's go back to this article here. We kind of knew some of this was coming because we had a report from Game Informer's Wesley LeBlanc back in July, who previewed the character creator, but we didn't actually get to see any of it. Now we do. But he wrote this: at the heart of it is inclusivity. Veilguard game director Corrine Bush. Bush is a man pretending to be a woman. We will get to him in a little bit. Tells me before letting me guide him through creating my own character. He went on to reveal that the character creator allows players to choose between 4 different races: elves, Kunari, humans, and dwarves. It also, quote, allows for more detailed looks at each and the ability to choose pronouns with she, her, he, him, and they, them separately from gender, select different body types, and more. Furthermore, the character creator also features full nudity because the game, quote, is a mature RPG, according to Bush. Apparently, the full nudity is needed to choose your character's undergarments. And if you watch the IGN or any other of these reviews, you will see that they do include the full nudity in their actual videos. They are showing that in the character creator. Will not be doing that here. Don't approve of that. LeBlanc also revealed you can finally dye your hair with non-traditional colors, obviously for all the blue-haired and purple-haired people out there. He concluded revealing there are 4 voices that one can choose from. They include English masculine, English feminism, feminine feminism, yeah, American masculine, and American feminine. The pitch of the voices can be adjusted, and obviously you probably can apply that to all kinds of different characters. So they're trying to push this idea: men can become women, women can become men, etc. There is no such thing as men and women. That is what they're trying to do with this game. And anyone trying to say, oh, it's just a fantasy game, they're allowed to do this. No, absolutely not. Read some Tolkien. He has a really good discussion on this on Fairy Stories, where this fantasy fiction secondary sub-creation is supposed to bring us higher. It is supposed to point us towards God. It is not supposed to twist, corrupt, and destroy the things that God created. And that's exactly what this game is doing with God's creation of man and woman. It's also been revealed by multiple YouTubers that the character creator does include pronouns and allows players to select man, woman, and non-binary for gender. As I said, showed you this clip here from this YouTuber. I don't remember what her name is. Uni Fade Walker is her name. If we just click here, you can see there is the screenshot that I used as the featured image. It is right there as she, I assume it's a woman, is previewing this character creator. I think if you go back over here, that she shows off the yeah, right there. You can see showing off the man, he, him, pronouns, gender stuff that the game also includes. Skip ahead here. See adjusting to the woman and the non-binary, though. Absolutely disgusting stuff. So we knew all of this back in July, but it's now been confirmed. And not only that, we now know that they have top surgery scars as well in the game. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I think it's now clear that this game is nothing more than political and ideological propaganda disguised as a video game, and its primary objective does not appear to entertain customers or provide them with an escape or any kind of fun, but it's to indoctrinate them with transgender ideology. The game is clearly attempting to normalize this ideology by including top surgery scars in-game, as well as the various other customization options that allow players to blur the lines between male and female. Like you can put beards on certain characters and stuff like that. It's all pointing towards removing the differences between man and woman. And that's exactly what transgender ideology is supposed to do. And Archbishop Alexander Sample has discussed this, obviously not specifically and not specifically to Dragon Age, the Veilguard, but he has talked about how people adopting so-called preferred pronouns is the first step in the path to destruction. He says this: to some, supporting aspects of social transition may seem benign, even humane, such as using someone's preferred pronouns and actively affirming his or her perceived gender. However, while well-intentioned, this kind of endorsement may help shepherd a young person on a path of unnecessary medicalization. Archbishop Sample continues saying, social transition is often the first step towards hormones and surgery. A 2020 survey of transgender and non-binary youth found that 64% of respondents were either already receiving cross-sex hormones or desired to do so. Danish researchers who first used puberty blockers on gender dysphoric children found that social transition increased the likelihood that dysphoria would persist and result in medicalization. Social transition can also include practices such as breast binding and genital tucking, both of which have been shown to have adverse effects on physical health, like testicular torsion and reduced fertility in males, and abnormal lung function and back pain in females. Moreover, a 2020 study on the effects of social transition found that family and peer relations, but not social transition status, predicted psychological functioning. Did you hear that? A 2020 study on the effects of social transition found that family and peer relations. Well, what are they trying to do with Dragon Age, the Veilguard? They're probably trying to get you to talk about this with your peers. Oh, look, I created this character. Why don't I do that in real life now? That's exactly what these people are trying to get you to do. It's sick. It's evil. These people are evil. They want you to wallow in their misery. We know this because, as I said, it starts from the top. So not only did we have that post here from the general manager, Gary McKay, but as I've covered repeatedly, the game director, Corinne Bush, is a man pretending to be a woman. He's described himself as a queerosexual gendermancer and has claimed the game is inherently queer. Let's just skip down here. And this was a developer story published on BioWare's website, where Bush reveals his identity, quote, as a queer trans woman, has indeed been injected into the game. He said this: as a queer trans woman, I have perspective on the games that not everyone has. Dragon Age has long been a place where LGBTQIA plus folks can see people like themselves represented respectfully. It's inherently very queer, and it's such a rare thing for marginalized communities to have representation where we feel proud and powerful in how we are depicted. It's so deeply meaningful for so many. I often get emotional when I think about what it would have meant for a younger version of myself to see someone like her in a game. You're a man, you're not a woman. And as a hero, no less. I hope we can be a safe place for our queer players to know they are not alone, that they are brilliant and worthy, that they are not only welcome, but celebrated. And then if we scroll up a little bit here, we have this post here from Mark Kern Grums. Let's blow this up here real quick. You can see here that Bush literally described himself as a queerosexual gendermancer in his bio on X. This is the game director for this game. So it's no surprise that this stuff is in here because, again, as I repeatedly say, this comes from the top down. Anyone trying to tell you that you can enact change from the bottom up is lying to you. That does not happen. It all comes from the top down because as humans, we are naturally hierarchical. And so that's what we're seeing here. And this is what is happening. This is coming from the top down. People in positions of power, like Corrine Bush, like this guy, Gary McKay, are the ones instituting this stuff. They have the ability to say no. They can reject this stuff. They can say no to the evil that they are trying to push, but they have chosen to push this evil. They have chosen to propagate this evil and are going to try and infect as many people as they can with it. And we have the duty to say no to this. We have the duty to reject this, and we must reject this. We must make sure that this game dies like Concord. Obviously, Concord is a little bit different because it's a multiplayer game. It actually requires people to keep playing it in order to sustain its business model. This game is a little bit different, single player game, obviously. But I think we can level a death blow at the entire studio for BioWare by not purchasing this game, refusing to buy it, by boycotting it. Because at the end of the day, this game is propaganda and is trying to push transgender ideology, and we must say no. This is not what we want whatsoever. We want to be fighting the Darkspawn. We do not want to be joining them. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.